Everyone talks about summer like it's supposed to be carefree. But if this season brings up money stress, body stress, family stress, or social stress, that's real too. Growth therapy can help with that. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person visits, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage by state and insurance plan.
I'm Tad Flakey.
I'm Lilibet Flakey.
And this is Pointless Global News. On today's show, a live elephant urinates on the floor of the Texas Republican Convention.
Then I'll tell you about America's newest frozen treat, breast milk ice cream.
Next, I'll tell you about the gross habits of some airline passengers these days. That story coming up later. But first, a 4-ton African elephant brought to surprise attendees at the Texas Republican Party's annual convention drew widespread criticism after urinating on the floor inside the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston on Friday. Organizers introduced the animal, named Paige, immediately following a keynote speech by Governor Greg Abbott to generate enthusiasm among the delegates and party officials. The incident quickly became a focus of animal welfare concerns, however, after videos of the elephant relieving herself circulated online. The Texas Democratic Party shared footage of the occurrence on social media to mock their political opponents. The post read, Governor Abbott closed out his speech at the Texas GOP convention with a live elephant. It then peed on the floor as it left the room. The perfect metaphor for the Texas Republican Party. And for those of you living outside of the U.S., just to kind of keep you in the loop here, you're probably wondering, why did they have an elephant at their political convention? Because the elephant is the mascot, sort of, for the Republican Party. So that's why. Anyway, state Republican officials defended the appearance by sharing their own video of the animal entering the venue. Welcome, Paige. Thanks for stopping by the state convention. What a treat for our delegates and guests. It's one that they will never forget. Paige belongs to the East Texas Elephant Experience, a commercial facility based in Cut and Shoot, Texas. Yes, that's the name of the town, Cut and Shoot, Texas. And they charge audiences for up-close interactions and rents out the animals. The company website states that Paige and 2 other elephants arrived in the U.S. during the late 1990s after poachers killed their parents for ivory. The Animal Rights Coalition heavily criticized the business for exploiting the endangered mammals for public entertainment. They deserve better. They deserve true sanctuary where they can live their lives free from exploitation and the threat of harm, the statement added. Online users and media figures expressed outrage over the usage of a live animal as a political prop during a convention. Shame on every single human being involved in torturing Paige the elephant, wrote journalist Yashir Ali. Public criticism intensified under the state party's official social media broadcast. This is abhorrent cruelty. Elephants are not political props. Disgusting and disgraceful, wrote another commenter. In my opinion, Paige the elephant had excellent editorial sense and knew exactly what she was doing. You go, girl.
I think the only issue that I have or fault I see is that she didn't take a big dump.
That would have been better, yeah.
I think that would have been better and more accurately represent the Republican Party. my opinion only.
Well, they might try this stunt again, and maybe we'll get lucky, and maybe
I
the
hope
elephant
so.
will take a dump next
Because
time.
they make huge dumps.
Oh, God, and they smell horrible. Well, I mean, what does smell good? But you know what I mean. It just lights up the whole place.
2 companies have joined forces to answer a question absolutely no one asked outside of a Freudian therapy session. What if Ben & Jerry did a flavor inspired by boob juice? The frozen fever dream comes courtesy of Frida, a company best known for helping babies do gross baby things slightly more conveniently, and Oddfellows, an artisanal ice cream shop that once made a foie gras gelato because regular goose torture wasn't creamy enough for them. Together, they've churned up a concoction dubbed breast milk ice cream, which is apparently not made from actual human breast milk because that would be weird and probably not entirely legal. Instead, creators use cow's milk and something called colostrum powder, which sounds like either a medieval plague remedy or the powder form of a lactation fetish, if not both. According to their press release, the flavor mimics the warm, sweet, slightly salty taste of freshly expressed breast milk, which raises further questions like, how exactly do you know that? And do we need to send social services for a welfare check? The dessert boasts a neon yellow hue that would make Pikachu blush and is being shipped nationwide for people who hate themselves coast to coast. New parents are especially encouraged to try it, presumably to teach their babies about betrayal early. It's nostalgia with nipples, said one fan, who probably shouldn't be allowed near schools. It's like eating memories of being loved, but cold. The product promises to deliver a nutrient-rich experience packed with omega-3s, lactose, protein, and vitamins, which just so happen to be the things you can get from regular non-boob dairy foods. Still, the branding insists this dessert fuels your body like formula and satisfies late-night cravings, making it officially the first product that appeals to both stoners and lactating moms. Not to be outdone, Haagen-Dazs rumored to be working on a rival line of flavors based on childhood trauma, including passive-aggressive stepmom sherbet and Dad went out for cigarettes and never returned swirl. Until then, Frida's boob-inspired frozen delicacy is available for a limited time, giving you a unique opportunity to do something we all dream of, emotionally scarring your tongue. Well, I have a lot to say about this. First of all, breast milk should not be emotionally scarring, and I'm going to guess that 99.9% of lactating women certainly have tasted their breast milk because you want to know what it tastes like. It is not sweet. It is not tasty. To me, babies drink it. Obviously, they enjoy it, but I don't think it's a particularly tasty thing, and it shouldn't give anyone trauma. What should be more traumatic is the thought of humans drinking animal milk,
Yes.
cow milk, goat milk. Human milk is made to feed humans. And I don't think because of the possibility of passing bacteria or disease to breast milk or betrayal or anything that should be traumatic. It's a
natural.
wonderful experience. It's very natural.
It-
I don't find it particularly tasty, but, babies obviously do.
Of course. Finally, being trapped in a metal tube at 30,000 feet seems to bring out the worst in people. And despite sharing a small space with dozens of others, some people treat the plane cabin like their personal living space. A thread on Reddit's Ask UK titled, Worst Thing You've Seen on a Plane, What Do You Think Is Just Not Acceptable, brought in over 200 responses, with passengers keen to call out bad behavior that they've seen on board. And there were definitely some common themes among the complaints. The original poster started the ball rolling, writing, for me, it was that the lady sitting next to me was picking her toenails. And many agreed lack of shoes was a huge etiquette breach. I was sitting next to someone yesterday who took off their shoes and socks as soon as the opportunity allowed. They even went to the toilet barefoot, claimed another poster. They added, it wasn't just the fact that they were barefoot, it was the general hygiene. For example, coughing and sneezing without covering your mouth, etc. They had me on edge the whole time, thinking, I'm going to catch whatever disease they've absorbed through the soles of their gross feet. In a similar thread, Posters complained about passengers doing tasks more suited for their private bathroom. I don't like it when people clip their toenails. I've seen it 3 times, twice a row across from me and another time in the same row. While another posted, my wife and I were sitting in seats 1C and 1D, while the guy in seat 1B pulled out dental floss after a meal and started going at his mouth like he was giving himself a root canal. Full-on two-handed flossing right in his seat. Another said, I try to be kind and understanding of the difficulties and lack of facilities on a plane, but a woman changed her baby's filled diaper in the middle of the cabin. Twice. The stench roamed right through the Boeing 777. Other examples posted to the account over the years include a woman using a foot file to remove hard skin, a man opening a can of tuna on a plane for a snack, and a woman using the overhead air vent to air out the crotch of her underwear. Even I had my own smelly encounter on a flight about 15 years ago. After I boarded the plane, it was a Southwest plane, the person with the seat next to me sat down and immediately, before taking off, started to chow down on a Taco Bell bean burrito. And of course, he farted the entire 4-hour flight from Sacramento to Chicago. My question is, why is Taco Bell even allowed in the Sacramento airport, or any airport for that matter? Fun fact, when I got off the flight, I observed that his wife was sitting about 9 rows behind him. So she obviously knew what a gross pig her husband was.
Pretty gross, I agree. And I know there's a lot said about walking barefoot or in socks on an airplane, but people do that outside on sidewalks. At least you can reasonably believe that animals have not pooped and peed inside a plane, and that carpet is probably no dirtier than people just walking barefoot outside in their yard or on sidewalks. I personally try not to walk around in the airplane without my shoes on, but I do take them off when I get in my seat if it's a long flight.
And not surprisingly, I think I read a few months ago somewhere that RFK Jr. routinely takes off his shoes and walks barefoot inside the airplane.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's bad. And it's not that you want to have people's dirty feet sitting up on the armrest next to you, but you could do worse things. And trust me, having worked in hospitals for decades, people who let their children play on hospital floors, I can't think of a filthier, scarier thing to do, or to walk around barefoot in a hospital.
The human race just needs to do better.
We do.
And that's going to be a wrap for another Pointless Global News. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tad Flakey.
I'm Lilibet Flakey.
Stay pointless, my friend.